Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about That Grass Looks Greener. This card is currently unlimited in Master Duel, and in every other format, it is limited in some way. In Duel Links, it is banned, in the TCG, it is banned, and even in the OCG, it is semi-limited. For some reason, this is unlimited in Master Duel. I genuinely have no clue how that happened, but we are pairing it up with Darklords. Now, Darklords are really good to be paired up with this because, again, they do have a lot of graveyard effects, or effects that they want to have cards in the graveyard for, right? Superbia special summoning from the graveyard is very nice, so yeah, very nice to pair it up with this. However, with that being said, this is probably the worst version of Darklords that I have played, and the reason for it is because there's a lot of inconsistency with this deck. I don't really think that there is anything that I could do to help boost consistency, except maybe playing Pot of Extravagance as well. However, the problem with Pot of Extravagance is that we actually do need specific cards within our extra deck. For example, the Condemned Darklord, we want the Apollousa, we want the first Darklord, and I mean, everything else kind of can get banished, and it's fine, but realistically, we would still need those cards. So if you, for some reason, have triple Apollousa, triple first Darklord, triple Condemned, play that, play it with Extravagance. Otherwise, just play this. So, I'm going to quickly do the card by card. We are playing the Herald package, which means we're playing triple Angel 01. We are playing the 1 Ava. We're playing triple Diviner of Herald and 2 Trios. The reason 2 Trios is because it can still activate in the grave, even if you don't send it off of the Herald or Diviner of Herald. So if you send it off of grass, it can still special summon itself, which is very nice. I'm only playing one, well, technically 2 hand traps in triple Maxi and the 1 Nibiru. These are just the best ones, and you don't really want to see them off of Reasoning, so I cut down on the amount of monsters, and specifically hand traps that we are playing because of Reasoning. I'm playing 1 Ukobak. Again, you just need the 1. You have other targets for the Indulged, which, again, I'm playing 3 of. Ukobak's nice, though. Just special summon it to your opponent's side of the field. Very nice. We're playing 2 Amdusk. Could you bump this up to 3? Yeah, probably. If you were to do that, I would say probably take out, like, the Nibiru or a Metal Foes Fusion or something along those lines. Yeah, that's just another thing you could switch. It would allow you to get more cards off of your grass, and not have to rely so heavily on having grass as well as contact or banishment or something along those lines. Moving on, we're playing 1 Nastin. This card bricks like none other if you are not playing a lot of Darklord cards. It's nice to have every once in a while to search it out off of something, or just to special summon it off of your Morningstar, but most of the time, you just want the 1 with this deck. Moving on, we're also playing the 1 Christia. Christia is nice if you are able to special summon it off of Superbia. Other than that, it's not very great, so just the 1. It's kind of a win more option. 2 Superbia, it's a dead card in hand. You just want to mill it, so only 2. There's a lot of times that you will see it off of either a Reasoning or a That Grass Looks Greener, and you don't really want it in your hand. I'm also playing 2 Tez for similar reasons, except kind of the opposite. You want to see it in your hand, but you don't want to see it with other stuff. You kind of want to search it, and if you end up milling it off of a grass, you would like to have another one in hand, or at least searchable. As I mentioned, the 2 Trios, triple Eggshell, obviously. I'm actually playing 2 Morningstars, just so that in case, you know, we mill 1, we still have 1 in deck. That's mostly why. The 1 Nibiru, the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, this is kind of silly, but it came up and it was very useful. Reasoning, triple Allure, triple Banishment, triple Contact, triple That Grass Looks Greener, and triple Pot of Prosperity. This one could be switched out with Pot of Extravagance, which doesn't have as much of a downside, as I've already mentioned. But this card is really good. It gets you 2 grass. The only cards that it conflicts with is specifically Allure as well as Ixchel. But in all honesty, allowing you to potentially see a That Grass Looks Greener or a Forbidden Droplets or a Banishment or something like that is very, very useful. I'm also playing 1 Metal Foes Fusion. This is only to mill it off of the That Grass Looks Greener. 2 Forbidden Droplets. You should probably be playing 3 of this. I only have 2. 2 Darklord Rebellion, 2 Enchantment. These are the 2 best cards that interact with the opponent. Just non-target pop, non-target steal, very solid. We're also playing Sanctified and Uprising, just the one of each. You don't want to see them all that often, and they're good in the grave anyway, so... And we're also playing 2 Necrofusion, so this one is very nice. If you're able to activate your That Grass Looks Greener, and then flip up a Necrofusion on the opponent's turn with, like, a Morningstar engrave, you can banish all of your materials to go into the first Darklord and destroy everything. And since it's a trap, there's a lot less that can actually interact with this card, which makes it a lot better. As for the extra deck, we are playing 1 Entis as a target to send off of Herald. That's literally the only reason. We're playing the 1 first Darklord. Realistically, this should be like 2 or 3, but I only have the 1. We are playing 1 Hope Harbinger. You can kind of make this off of 2 Superbia. It never really comes up. We're playing the Spiders, Ravenous Tarantula, Pain Gainer, and the 7 Sins, as well as AA Zeus. Most all of these XZs just get banished off of a Pot of Prosperity, as well as Nightmare Cerberus. So all of these right here are normally my targets for banishing. Occasionally I'll keep a Ravenous Tarantula or a Hope Harbinger, but most of the other stuff just gets banished. We're playing Nightmare Phoenix, 2 Condemned Darklords. I kind of want to bump this to 3, but realistically it rarely comes up, and it's almost more worth it to have other corner case options. We're playing the 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, 1 Apollosa. This card is very important. This card is necessary. Most of the other cards, other than the first Darklord, the Condemned, and this card, are unnecessary. So, there you go. 1 Axis Code Talker. This card's crazy. Just absolutely insane. And 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So, that is the deck. Let's hop into the replays and see how this performs. Now, before we get into these duels, I just wanted to say that, did you know, almost 80%, over 80%, of the people who watch my channel are not subscribed. That's all. Alright, so here we are in the first game, and as you can see, I didn't draw grass, but I did notably draw Necrofusion. Pretty nice. So I'm going to normal summon the Diviner at the start. Seeing as how we have Banishment, I want to bait out an Ash Blossom, and the best way to do that is to normal summon the Diviner. Diviner is going to normal summon, and then we are going to go Trios, send the Trios, special summon out the Trios. Since it was tributed, since the Diviner was tributed, it special summons out the Ava. We're going to go into the Link 2 Condemned Darklord. Ava's going to activate. We're going to banish the Diviner. We're going to special summon out the Angel 01 and get Nibiru'd. Now, we've done all of this. We did take up our normal summon, but we did all of this without using Banishment. So we're going to activate the Banishment, and here we search out the Nastin. Since we already have a Banishment in Grave, as well as 2 monsters, we can just quickly go for the Nastin here, and we're going to search out Tez. The reason I don't search out something else is because of this Necrofusion. So I'm going to set the Necrofusion, which is just kind of my best play. I don't really have anything that I could, like, contact back other than the Indulged, which is, like, okay, but yeah. Not a lot that we can do about that. We actually get tributed over with our, with a Kaiju, so they Kaiju us, and okay, that's fine. They normal summon their Crusadia and go into Magius. They're going to activate their Parallel Exceed. They're going to special summon the Parallel Exceed. They're going to activate the Parallel Exceed as well as the Magius in order to search out cards as well as special summon. And here I realize this is probably the best time the best time for me to just nuke the field. I know Crusadia really relies on their normal summon to get everything started, and if you just like nuke the field here, they can't really do anything. So I'm going to banish 3 and go for the first Darklord. I'm going to keep Nastin in the grave just in case I need to bring it back with the first Darklord, but I'm going to nuke the field and they will surrender. Good game. Alright, here we are in the second game, and this time, we're going second. However, they're going to set 3 and pass. We did draw Reasoning, which is really nice. We also have Maxi, but they didn't end up actually doing anything. And here they're going to activate their Personal Spoofing. They're going to add their Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker is going to then special summon himself, and I'm going to chain the Max C here. Reason being, I might as well get some value out of it. They're not going to special summon a whole lot, so yeah, it's just my best option. So they're going to activate their Multi-Faker, and look who shows up. It's That Grass Looks Greener. So they're going to special summon out 2 here, so I get 2 free draws, which is really nice. I'm going to special summon the Angel 01, because why not? And then I'm going to activate Reasoning. They actually activate Solemn Judgment here, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping that they had some sort of negate, and that grass looks greener would go through. So we activate it, mill a whole bunch of cards, and then search out one of the contacts that we had. Luckily, we still had one in grave, which is very nice. So we're going to activate that in order to bring back one of the Superbias we milled. Superbia is going to bring back Ixchel, except it gets negated. Sad day. Not a whole lot that I can do about that. However, we still do have a free tribute summon off of this Angel 01. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tribute summon off, I'm actually going to go for the Condemned Darklord. The reason I go for this here is because we still haven't used our normal, as well as we have a Nastin in hand, as well as I knew that they had this guy's effect that I still had to play around, which, you know, shuffles back. So I could have tributed there, but since I hadn't used my normal, there wasn't really anything or any reason to do that. I have many contacts in grave, I have many banishments in grave, so I'm going to go for the Nastin here. Nastin is going to special summon back the Ixchel, Ixchel is going to special summon back the Amdusk, Amdusk is then going to search out one of our Morning Stars, and now we can go for the Condemned. So we go for the Condemned, we activate the effect, and we pitch. So this was a big mistake, but it doesn't end up mattering. They're already on 4,000 life points, so it's not that big of a deal. But I actually ended up sending the Morning Star, which I had searched out specifically to normal summon, in order to go for our Tez. So I'm just going to tribute some of the Tez, and then I will pop their back row by recycling the Rebellion, and then I will attack in for game. Solemn Judgment, you know? Alright, so here we are once again going second, but I drew two Reasonings, which is very funny. They are going to normal summon their Kit and then go into Almirage. And then Kit's going to activate to send the Nerval. Nerval is going to activate, and they're going to add Fractal here. So with this, they basically telegraph that they don't have another monster for them to actually use the Karos with. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but sure. And then you'll see that they actually just set one and pass. Like, alright, interesting. Tri-Brigade's breaking. I've never seen that. I actually draw Superbia, which is cringe. They're going to Ash Blossom my first Reasoning, and I'm like, ah, darn, well, it sure is a shame that my Reasoning doesn't go off. It'd be a shame if I were to have a second one. And I didn't play the second one. Somehow, literally, the top two cards of my deck were Superbia, which I drew for turn, and then Superbia. Not the greatest outcome, but sure. I'm going to special summon the Ukobak to the opponent's side of the field and then search out Nastin. Nastin is then going to send these two to the two traps to the grave, and then I will proceed to the battle phase. I kind of attacked weirdly, but it doesn't end up mattering. It didn't matter what order I attacked in. I could just attack in, and then we can activate the Nastin during the battle phase in order to go for a tribute or a fusion summon of the first Darklord and OTK the opponent. Now, I know for a fact that this was a set Tri-Brigade Revolt, and the reason that I know this is because it was activatable, but the only thing they could have gone into is something like a Farigit, but yeah, they just didn't decide to flip it. They could have survived, so there's that, but yeah, there's game. Alright, here we are going first this time, again, with double Reasoning. Reasoning is kind of a crazy good card. So we're going to reveal a few cards and send them to the grave. We actually reveal some really good ones for us. Sending that Reasoning kind of sucks, but not that big of a deal. We special summon out at the Angel 01, and then they max see us. And I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks, but I'm still going to activate this other Reasoning because we have such solid mills. So I'm actually going to get the search here. We're going to go for the Ixchel. The reason I go for Ixchel over something else is because, one, we don't have enough targets to go for the fusion at this point, so I need to at least get something. And two, I can actually send this contact to the grave with the Ixchel in order to put it into the grave so that next turn, during my opponent's turn, I can bring back the Ixchel with Tez's effect by copying the contact, and that gets us an Ixchel on the field as well as a potential fusion. So that was the plan here. So I'm going to send two. I draw into two really solid top decks. And the Morning Star is perfect. That allows us to nuke the field. And the Forbidden Droplets is also incredibly useful here, just allowing us to negate whatever they end up going for. So I'm going to then normal summon, since I hadn't used that, the Diviner. Diviner is going to send the Trios just as additional backup. This does quick effect tribute in order to special. And then we will just go to the end phase here. I believe during I don't activate anything here. I should have. I activate Tez here. I should have activated it during the standby phase. It was kind of foolish of me, but honestly, not that big of a deal. They're going to normal summon their Chambermaid, and I'm just going to chain to that the Contact in order to special summon out the Ixchel. So at this point, we could even go and Tribute 3 for the Trios here, but it's fine. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to activate the Maxi here. Just drawing anything is really nice because we can use that with the... whatever we end up drawing with the Forbidden Droplets, and we draw into a monster, which is even better. So I'm going to send the Christia to the grave, and they are going to attack in with the Fusion and just die. I knew they were going to attack into the Tez, because of course, why not? They are just going to special summon back the Fusion, which is a little bit problematic, but not too big of a deal, because we have a myriad of ways to deal with it. It is a single negate, and that is it. So I'm going to Maxi here because they're going to special summon. Might as well get that draw, right? I know that they don't special summon a whole lot, so it's better to do it now. We draw into Superbia, which is kind of funny. But here I'm just going to activate Tez in order to in order to copy the Uprising, and then I'm going to chain to their negation of the Tez, my own Ixchel effect, targeting the Darklord Uprising, and then I'm going to actually send the Tez to the grave, since it's going to be destroyed anyway. We're going to send the Morningstar as well as the Superbia, and then go into the first Darklord. At this point, they will special summon out the House Dragonmaid, and we end up drawing into Necrofusion, which kind of doesn't do anything. But I nuke the field, and then they realize that it's over, and they surrender. So, you know, Necrofusion, yay. Alright, so we're back with the deck. And in all honesty, this deck is pretty solid if you're able to resolve your That Grass Looks Greener, or, you know, multiple reasonings. The problem is, rarely are you consistently grabbing these cards or getting these cards. Now, granted, you could play something like Left Arm Offering, which I did try out. The problem is that you really want as many cards in your hand as you can. Darklords really actually want a lot of cards in hand. They discard a lot of cards, they need to send cards from the hand, so just banishing your entire hand for one spell doesn't really do enough. Right? Sure, if you were able to, you know, Left Arm Offering and then still be able to set cards, set cards and then still be able to Left Arm Offering, you could set your Contact that you may be searched out and then Left Arm Offering, but alas, you cannot do that. Here, I'll even show you. Left Arm Offering specifically says you cannot set spells or traps during the turn you activate this card. So, it would be nice, because, you know, you could set a Necrofusion, you could set a Darklord Contact, you know, and then activate it, but you can't, so it's not really worth it. As for the deck itself, it's fine. It's kind of fun when you are actually able to resolve That Grass Looks Greener, but the problem is you're rarely able to do that. It's very much so like very high risk for like slightly higher reward than just like pure Darklords. So I wouldn't recommend this. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. And I think That Grass Looks Greener should definitely be banned. Not because of this deck, though. This deck is totally fine. Yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.